Welcome to the Project Management Prepcast, the direct route to PMP exam success. Here's your instructor, Cornelius Fichtner.
Hello and welcome to the Project Management Prepcast. We're putting project management in its place, or at least into context, with the other management disciplines. I'm your instructor, Cornelius Fichtner. The topic of this lesson is project, program, portfolio and organizational project management. Even though here on the Prepcast we're talking mostly about project management, we must still discuss where it fits within the organization. And this includes the relationship between project, program and portfolio management, looking at the similarities and differences between them, the goal of organizational project management, and finally the definition and details of project management, program management, and portfolio management. The main concept to get out of this lesson is the relationship of project management to program management to portfolio management. Because of the intended purposes, there are distinct differences among them. They have different objectives. They are organized in different ways and at different levels. But there are also many similarities. All the disciplines are types of management. The management best practices of one are, to a certain extent, shared in the others. So recognize that there are certain practices and methods that are similar between the management disciplines. And beyond how they are tactically managed, recognize that they are often working towards similar end goals, which means they have similar needs. Let's take a look at their relationship on a high level. The Project Management Prepcast here is based on the discipline of project management. This manages the temporary endeavors that the organization takes on. Even though this is what you must know for the exam, you also need to understand how project management relates to other management needs in the organization. Because organizations are not a one-time pony and projects may impact other projects or may be working towards a greater coordinated need, there is program management. Program management is about managing related projects that require coordinated oversight and coordinated control. Then, at an even higher level, you have portfolio management. The organization's programs and projects and operations are to be managed as a strategic group. In essence, all the investments of a team, a department, a division, or whatever breakdown your organization chooses is within portfolio management. But before we get into the details of project, program, and portfolio management, it is important to understand its relationship to organizational project management as well. Organizational project management, or OPM, is the strategy execution framework of an organization. It does this by setting up and maturing organizational enablers consistently and predictably in order to deliver organizational strategy. So, as a result, you get better performance, be more predictable, and you have a sustainable competitive advantage. Organizational enablers would be things like having the most optimal corporate structure or culture or technology usage and practices. This is accomplished by linking the management principles with the strategy. By utilizing the project, program, or portfolio management with the organizational practices in cooperation to support strategic goals. OPM is setting the table so management principles can deliver the strategy. The Project Management Institute does have an organizational project management standard called the Organizational Project Management Maturity Model, which is based on a maturity model much like CMMI. But that is beyond the scope of this course. If you would like to know more about PMI's OPM3 maturity model, then I encourage you to check out pmi.org. To sum it up, Think of organizational project management driving the organization's strategies and advance its capabilities to drive and achieve strategies by maturing the project, program, and portfolio management disciplines within its realm. But now let's move on to project, program, and portfolio management, beginning with a reminder of the exact PMBOK guide glossary definition of project management. What is it that we do? Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project objectives. And project management is what this course and the PMP certification is all about. As the definition explained, it means applying all that we know to fulfill objectives of the project. How things are properly applied to the project, that is part skill and part knowledge of the PMBOK guide. It's 47 processes, 5 process groups, and 10 knowledge areas, and similar best practices. Managing a project often includes management actions such as collecting expectations and requirements, addressing needs, and balancing the competing project constraints. Moreover, projects endure changes and progress via elaboration. Therefore, they are iterative in nature, in the practice to improve and detail the plans and direct its execution accordingly. The official PMBOK guide glossary definition for program management is very similar to that of project management. They essentially start the same, then there is a little variation in the second half. Let's take a look at it. The application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to a program to meet the program requirements and to obtain benefits and control not available by managing projects individually. That's program management. And why do we have program management? Well, organizations are often, if not always, running multiple projects at any one time. If projects are related and have a common purpose, they can be grouped into a program. Since all these projects are chartered with the purpose to propel the organization's goals and strategic plans, there are frequently times when the projects themselves have a common outcome, such as the new train station, wherein you would have a project for the rail, a project for the signage in and around the station, a project for the terminals, and potentially other interdependent projects. Or there could be related projects with a collective capability, such as the computerized check-in kiosks at the new train station. They could be used for other train stations that are under construction, or the shared capabilities of the network supporting those kiosks. Therefore, the main objective of adding the layer of program management over these related projects is to increase the benefits and control of managing them together that could not be otherwise achieved if we did so with each project independently. Since they have a collective capability or some other shared outcome, there can be sharing of the resources, shared knowledge, common oversight, similar tactical approaches, and many other dependent on the organization and the purpose of the program. In sum, the primary gain in managing projects as a program is the aligned direction and coordination. And then the PMBOK guide glossary definition of portfolio management, well, it varies quite a bit from the other two management definitions. Here we're talking more about the consolidation or centralization of the entities within a designated domain that needs to be managed. The definition is that portfolio management is the centralized management of one or more portfolios to achieve strategic objectives. With portfolio management being the centralized efforts around or towards a strategic objective, you can think of portfolio management as consisting of all the investments that a company or entity would like to coalesce around. That would include portfolios. A portfolio by definition is projects, programs, and operations that are managed as a group to achieve strategic objectives. Say our organization researches and develops drugs for therapeutic purposes. One portfolio could focus on all the investments surrounding ophthalmology or diseases of the eye. It may also include sub-portfolios. For instance, our group could have the ophthalmology portfolio broken down into various segments or areas of concentration. And within those portfolios or sub-portfolios, then there are our programs. For this example, we may group a series of projects to form a program on a new line of drug research and trials, and another program on the marketing and sales of already released pharmaceuticals. Within all of that are then our projects. So you as the project manager would be managing an endeavor that fits within a program or a portfolio. Or in some rare cases you may be leading a one-off that has no connection to any program or portfolio at all. Your project could be the feasibility trials of a drug on a genetic sequence, or a project on establishing a new database and tracking system, or improving the current trials system. The benefit of all of this is that portfolio management enables us to achieve our strategic corporate objectives, and it gives us centralized control over portfolios, sub-portfolios, programs, and projects. And to wrap up our comparison of project management, program management, and portfolio management, let's look at a few examples of how certain aspects are handled similarly or differently amongst these three management disciplines. In particular, we want to look at how success, planning, and change are managed. Yes, there are definitely more areas we could highlight, but we'd like to bring these three to your attention. So, let's start out with what some may consider to be the most important: success. How do we consider project management to be a success? Well, in a nutshell, the project was on time, the work done to the satisfaction of the stakeholders, and within budget. Whereas a program is considered a success if it satisfies the needs and the benefits that were set for the program. And for portfolio success criteria, you look at an overall or aggregate of how the investments were utilized. Next, let's see how plans are created, and planning has similarities and differences. For projects, plans are progressively elaborated. Programs have overall plans and guide components accordingly, and portfolios maintain processes based on planned needs and communicate the plan. And finally, let's explore the handling of change within the three. Change in projects is expected and managed as required. In programs, here we expect change to not only come from within the program or individual projects, but also from the outside, like market shifts or changes in technology. And finally, portfolios, being the centralized management of all within its domain. They are always monitoring the changes within any and all of the environments. Let's review. In this lesson, we have learned that project management focuses on the individual needs of a project. Program management coordinates related projects to better control and gain benefit from the aligned effort. Portfolio management centralizes the management of the programs and projects, and organizational project management enables all of these to happen. And that concludes our look at projects, programs, portfolios, and organizational project management. So what type of sample questions do we see online or in books? Well, the sample questions are all about figuring out where things fall. Here's one for you. There are several projects in your organization working on the same product. Which management method would be used to best coordinate these related projects? Is it A, portfolio management, B, program management, C, operational management, or is it D, functional management? And of course the answer is quite easy if you paid attention to the lesson here. The answer, of course, is this all falls under program management. If projects are related and have a common purpose, they can be grouped into a program. And with that, we have come to the end of this lesson. So it's time for Justine to say,
May the forces of evil get lost on the way to your doorstep.
and of course I say, until next time.